Howdy folks, welcome to Rust Hammer Forge. I've been have a lot of these little handheld candle holders with the needles on them, and have a lot of questions about how I make these. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to make one of these. And what we're going to do is we're going to start out with 26 inches of 1/4 inch round. Doesn't matter if it's straight. This is just a piece I found out in the back. It had been wadded into a ball by one of my kids practicing and everything, so I straightened it out, and we're going to use that. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to stick our piece in our vise, bend it in a 90 to create the stud that will eventually become the needle. There are two different ways of doing these that I do them. That you can forge out a point into a close representation of what your needle will be, and then at the very end either forge that out into a needle or just grind a little bit on it to shape it down into this nice thin needle. Or like what I like doing, because I don't have to worry about the needle there the whole time, is I'm going to leave it the same width as a regular piece of stock, about 1/4 inch, and then I'm just going to scroll around that center stud, and at the very end grind my needle in. So without further ado, let's put this in the forge and get started. While this is heating up over here, some of the tools that I use to get this stuff done. Now, I usually end up giving away or selling my scrolling tongs, so I haven't made any set yet. I ended up trading some scrolling tongs that I was using for some steel for a friend of mine. So if you don't have scrolling tongs, needle nose pair of pliers, a pair of vice grips come in handy, and I use a 1 pound and an 8 ounce ball peen to do all the shaping work. It just helps with keeping your scrolls really tight. Okay, we're out of the forge. We're just going to hang probably 3/8 of an inch for our stud on there. We're going to bend this down. We're going to create a 90 in here, and then we're going to start our first twist, our first scroll. Now it's not going to be super tight at the beginning, but we're going to keep pulling around it as it cools, keeping it nice and tight, and it'll close up. So it'll even get tighter than that. So there's a little bitty hole right there in the middle, but there you are. So these are about 1.5 inches, maybe 1 3/4 actually across. So we have just a little ways to go with that. That little hole down the center will close up when we get done. And there's our stud. It's just the same size as everything else. We'll straighten it out and we'll put a needle on at the very end. Lock it into place. Start turning. I'm going to continue doing this cold, so I want to tighten this up. It's starting to cool down. I want to really tighten that up. See how that's really closed down now? That's what we're looking for. Once again, don't worry about the stud. If the stud's bothering you, you can straighten it out. Remember, you got to stick it back in your vise to make sure it all stays uniform and tight. I'm not going to worry about it until the end. On the sides here, make sure you get it nice and tight. One more wrap and we'll be good to go. There we go. We're the size we want. Alright, so there it is right there. That is the base of our candle holder. Now the next step we're going to do is we're going to take and flatten out the finger well on this side of your piece. We're going to go over the anvil and do that. Okay, you want to put your base piece on the vertical. Just flattening this out. You're just flattening it out. That's it. Now we're going to go back over to the vise and we're going to turn this vertical. We're going to turn it in the same plane. We're going to take this on this plane and we're going to bend it that way. Now I just put in the vise and bent it up. It'll change a little bit, but that's about where we want it now. It's kind of off center. This needs to point kind of like that right now in the future, but it'll get there. Right now, that's what we're looking for. Get it nice and plumb, nice and flat, straight down. Then we can start actually working on our handle and our spike. Now I'm gonna grind this spike down now so that I don't have to worry about it when I get my handle all put in. So when we get back, we'll just have a nice little needle right there. I'm gonna grind it down with an angle grinder. All right, I've ground that down. Now I have a nice little needle on there. Now we're gonna go finish the rest of the forging. All right, now that we have our needle on there, we're gonna go back to the thumb or the finger catch, and we're going to start scrolling that around. And how we're going to do that is we're going to go over the horn, and then we're just going to do it how you'd normally do a regular scroll with a hammer. You're just going to roll it up on itself, you know, changing the angle of your material, and keep on hitting it until you get that nice round kind of 3/4 circle that you're looking for. So we're going to go over to the anvil now, and we will get started on that. Okay. Out of the forge, we're going to come right over the horn, and we're just going to create kind of a semi scroll on it, just like that, away from your needle, and you're just going to walk this up on it until you have the desired finger catch at this stage. We'll refine it later, but we just want to get it started so it'll hook around our bending hardy tool. Just kind of doing some straightening here, and that's about all I'm going to do on that one. So what we're going to do on the next one, we're going to take our bending hardy, and we're going to you're going to bend towards your needle. So you're going to hook it like that, and you're going to come back around your bending hardy tool like this. So you're going to you're going to take and put this needle up on here. All right, we're going to come out of the forge. Make sure you clench your finger catch. Okay, we clench the finger catch, and we're going to come, and we're just going to bend it like that. Then we're going to come over here with our hammer. We're going to kind of align everything, and then we're just going to tap it down into place. And that is the first bend. Now the next bend is going to come, and we're going to bend this back onto itself. So we're going to take this right here and bend it back here, just like that. And then we're going to take this whole piece and go vertical with it. Alright. Got a little bit of a bend in there, that's all we want. We're just going to start hammering down on the existing until they somewhat touch. If you can get them to touch, awesome. If not, don't worry about it, because we will make it fit. So you're just making an S in there. That's all you're doing. Now we're going to take and move this whole thing to the vertical. We're going to put it in our vise again and get up here where I can grab it. We're going to just put it right on the needle, clamp it in there. We're just going to turn it. Now it needs some straightening and some structure to it, but we'll get it there. So we're going to put it back in the forge, and when we come back out, we'll start tweaking it with our pliers and needle nose. Alright, come out here with it, grab it with our vice grips here, and you see how it's kind of off kilter there? We're just going to take this and we're just going to twist it where it's in line with our needle. That's all we're doing. Putting it right in line with our needle, come up here, play around with, we're just taking and just aligning everything where it lines up nice and pretty. Trying to get it all in line with everything, make sure it's nice and straight, make sure it sits well. So that is basically how you do a handheld candle holder with scrolls all the way through it. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helps you out in your future endeavors. When making something like this, you just have to get in there and play with the steel and see what happens. So until next time, forge on, my friends. Take it easy.